Myles. Love always 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 Myles. From me to you, and you are listening to Love Always Myles. Hey, my lovies. Welcome back to another episode. How you guys feeling this week? This week, it's just been good. It's been good. I'm going on vacation, so I've literally just been counting the days until I leave. But other than that, everything's been good on my end so far. Today, I want to talk about just letting yourself be free from the past, basically. I think one of the hardest truths about growth is that nobody really talks about what it costs. We hear people talking about healing, hear people talking about becoming and doing life transformations, but we don't talk enough about what has to be left behind in order to choose things that are good for you, that are the best for you. Because becoming isn't just gaining something. Sometimes becoming is losing something. Sometimes it's losing the version of yourself you've known for years or all your life. And even when that version was hurting, even when that version was struggling, there can still be grief, because familiar things are hard to release, even when they're no longer serving us. And that's what I want to talk about today. The versions of ourselves that got us here, but aren't meant to go where we're going. I think it's important to say this first. Every version of you existed for a reason. The people pleaser, the overthinker, the one who stayed quiet, the one who carried everybody else's emotions, the one who never asked for help, the one who kept giving second chances, the one who learned how to survive difficult situations. Those versions of you weren't weakness, they were adaptations. There were ways your mind and heart learned to protect you. And for a season, they worked. That's why letting go feels so difficult, because you're not just releasing a habit, you're releasing something that once felt necessary. Something that once helped you be safe. And sometimes we mistake survival for identity. We start saying things like, that's just who I am, when really it's who you had to become. There's a big difference. One thing I've learned is that growth can feel surprisingly sad. Nobody really tells you that. They make it sound exciting, empowering, and beautiful. And sometimes it can be, and it is. But sometimes growth feels like grief, because you're realizing that certain relationships don't fit anymore. Certain conversations don't fit anymore. Environments, certain dreams don't even feel real anymore. And when that happens, there's a part of you that mourns. Not because you're moving backward, but because you are moving forward. And moving forward often requires release. I remember this video that I watched maybe, I don't know how many years ago. It's been a long time since I watched this video, but She was just basically talking about forcing herself into solitude. I don't even know the name of this young lady, but she was talking about forcing herself into solitude and certain friends she couldn't hang with, certain conversations she couldn't have because it didn't relate, because she didn't relate to it anymore, because she was more than that. And when I watched that video, for some reason, I mean, mind you, this video was like years ago. I don't even know how old I was, but it stuck with me. And I still go back to that video every now and again. And now I can fully understand what she's saying, because there are parts of me who used to do certain things I don't care to do anymore. I don't care to do. I don't care to be around. I don't care to be a part of. There are certain things that I have certain friendships I've had to even let go. Not because they were bad people. I think that that's a misconception in this culture of, oh, I cut this person off, quote unquote. Doesn't necessarily mean anything bad is with these people. Doesn't mean they're bad people. Doesn't mean that they hurt me or did something. It literally just could mean we're not aligned anymore. And I've had to do that. I've had to realign myself with people who not see things the way I see them, but people who are meant to be around in this season. And when I watched that video, forcing herself into solitude, she was talking about growth. She was talking about changing her environments, her habits, her ways to elevate herself, to become the version of herself that she wanted, her highest version. And she couldn't force herself to stick with something that wasn't for her. And I just thought that was so beautiful. Maybe you've noticed yourself changing. Maybe things that once excited you don't excite you anymore. Maybe things used to tolerate now make you uncomfortable. Maybe you've stopped fighting for spaces that don't fight for you. Maybe you've stopped explaining yourself so much. You've become quieter, stronger, softer, more intentional. And suddenly the people around you don't always understand, because they're familiar with the old version of you, the version that made them comfortable, the version that never challenged the dynamic, the version that stayed the same. But growth changes things, and not everyone grows with you. I remember another video. One thing about I love me a video, child. But I remember this video of Lauryn Hill, and she said, "You're gonna have to re-meet me. I'm not the same Lauren you once knew. I'm gonna have to reintroduce myself to you time and time again." And that's literally how I see things when it comes to friendships, family. Sometimes you're gonna have to reintroduce yourself, and either they're gonna understand it, they're gonna rise with you, they're going to, even if they don't rise with you, give you that space and opportunity to be who you are, or they're not. And if they choose not to, it's okay. You're going to have to reintroduce yourself to people and reevaluate them. And they should reevaluate you. It's not just a one-way street here. People should very well reevaluate who they're around all the time. You know who's for you, and sometimes you know who's not. And sometimes it doesn't mean you don't hang out with that person. It doesn't mean that you don't be cool with them. Sometimes it means we were besties. Maybe now we're just friends. We were friends. Maybe now we're just acquaintances, because we're not aligned and we don't see things the same, or we don't even give each other grace to be who we are. Reintroduce yourself to people. Reintroduce yourself to yourself and say, this is the new version of you. This was a lesson I had to learn. Just because someone is familiar with an old version of you doesn't mean you're required to stay there. You don't owe people the version of you that abandoned yourself. You don't owe people the version of you that accepted less than. You deserve. You don't owe people the version of you that exhausted trying to earn love. That version that constantly shrunk to make everyone else comfortable. Sometimes people say you changed, and sometimes they're right. You have changed. That's the point. You're supposed to. You're not meant to stay exactly the same person forever. You're meant to learn. You're meant to evolve. You're meant to become. Becoming often means disappointing people who benefited from the old version of you. That doesn't make you selfish. It makes you honest. It makes you aware. People love the old versions of you because that version was fun. That version would sit and talk about trauma and would sit and drink and smoke all day and night and dwell in problems. That person didn't want to move on. It wasn't ready to. But now you are. And that's the best thing that you could do for yourself is evolve. For me personally, this past year, I've done a lot of that. I've done a lot of reshaping, not necessarily just in the people I'm around, but my own habits. All of those things count as the new version of you, creating your own habits. For me, it was going to the gym consistently, getting up and going to the gym. I was so proud of myself because, I would go to the gym every now and again and do a little 1-2, but now I go every day. At 10 o'clock, I go to the gym. I get up. I make myself get up. I don't make it to be something that I can do. I make it something I have to do. Not only for my physical, but for my mental. That to me was a big deal because creating that habit, speaking life into myself, changing my mindset, getting up every morning. I don't know about anybody else out there, but for me, I pray. Getting up in the morning and sing a prayer of gratitude, thanking my Lord that I'm here, I'm alive, my family, my friends, people I love and care for, they're here and they're alive and their safety, their mental, their physical. I do that every day. I wake up 5 minutes before I'm supposed to get up and I just sit and I take a moment to myself. Talking life and speaking life into myself. Before, I really wouldn't do that. I wouldn't pour into myself. I expected others to. But now, I pour into myself. I get up and I speak life over me. Evolving and changing my own habits reflected on the outside. Once I felt good in the inside, once I poured into my own cup, it came with abundance. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, it's hard. It's not easy. It is very difficult to when things are going bad, when things are hard, to keep that in mind, that you're okay. You're okay. You're blessed. You're good. You're here. You're present. Sometimes you maybe want to slip back into old ways and old things. For me personally, for one, I've never really been a drinker, never really been a smoker. Let's just get this understood. It's not like I've never, ever, ever really been a drinker or a smoker. I remember when I turned 21, most people they're going to the club popping bottles or they want to go get the strongest thing on the shelf. Baby, I turned 21, went got a bottle of wine because I said, oh my gosh, I can drink wine now. And I just felt so sexy. But I did notice myself during my season of just fogginess that I did drink more. I did drink more. I started smoking casually with friends. But I told myself one day, I said, why are you doing this? Like literally, why are you doing this? What is your point? What is your end goal? And I just stopped altogether. It wasn't a big deal because it wasn't like I wasn't abusing it. But I did tell myself, why are you doing this? This isn't your purpose. This isn't even you. So at this point, it's been like 8 months and I haven't had any type of alcohol or smoked anything, gummy, period. But again, that takes you to self-reflect and to look at yourself and say, is this even who I want to be? And is this me? And look at it from the healed version, or try to look at it from a healed version of you, not the version you are now, not the person who's going through now, not the person who's sad now. Sometimes you have to sacrifice what feels good or what you think feels good right now to the over being and betterment of yourself. Pouring into you is the best thing you could do. Finding out who you are, what do you like to do, and it's hard. I'm talking about it, and I may even make it sound easy or sound great, but it's actually hard when you really sit by yourself. How many people can really just sit by themselves in a quiet room and be okay and be at peace with that? Honestly, can you sit by yourself in a quiet room and be okay and be cool that nothing else is going on? Nobody's calling you, nobody's texting you. You good on your own. Elevating yourself. A part of that is showing up for yourself. Like I said, for me, getting up every day, going to the gym, that's showing up for myself. It's not about a number on a scale or anything. It's really just about the version. I feel better when I go to the gym. Even when it's like, even this podcast, this is a part of showing up for myself. This is something I've always wanted to do. This is something that I spent my time, my money, and my energy doing. That's showing up for myself, posting every Sunday at 3:00 to let y'all know. This is showing up for myself. So this week, I want you to try it out. Just show up for yourself. That's it. I think one of the most loving things we can do is stop judging our past selves. Instead of saying, I can't believe I stayed, or I can't believe I tolerated that. I can't believe I kept making those mistakes. What if we said, thank you. Thank you for getting me through that season. Thank you for carrying me when I didn't know what I know now. Thank you for doing the best you could with what you had. Thank you for helping me survive. Because shame doesn't help us grow. Compassion does. And sometimes healing looks like turning around and thanking the version of yourself that got here. before gently letting them go. The version of you that you created, or the version of you that is present in your life, I should say, it was there for a reason. It was absolutely there for a reason. And it was beautiful while it lasted. But stay elevating. Stay growing. Stay consistent. When you look back over your life, you don't want to look at it and think, wow, I wasted so much time. I wasted so much energy on things I didn't want to or need to. You want to say, that was amazing. That was what it was for the moment. But this is who I am now. And who you are now might not be the same person you are 20 years from now either. And that's the point. Maybe you've been feeling a little out of place lately. Maybe you've been feeling disconnected from things that used to feel familiar. Maybe you've been questioning why certain relationships, conversations, or environments don't fit the same way like it once did. I want you to know something. That doesn't always mean you're lost. Sometimes it means you've grown. Sometimes it means you're standing at the edge of a new season. And not everything from the old can come with you. Not because it's bad, not because it's worthless, but because it has completed its purpose. Thank the version of you that cared, that carried you through. Thank the version of you that survived. Thank the version of you that got you here. And give them compassion. Give them permission to become. Thank you for listening to this episode. And until next time, love always, Myles.